Hey guys, this is one of my favorite stories. It's about Esther and it's called A Bridge to the King and it's beautiful little ornament. I will go in to see the king. Esther 4:16. She had to be brave. Let's hear about it. Here we go. Little Esther was an orphan. She had no father to hold her and no mother to help her. But she had Uncle Mordecai and he loved her. And so love grew her up to be lovely. Love always makes things lovely. Have you guys noticed that? People who love others, they're lovely on the inside and the outside lots of times because they just share love. Now King Xerxes was searching high and low throughout the entire kingdom, gathering up all the girls to see which one might be his new queen. When someone nudged lovely Esther forward, so here all the girls are standing there and somebody would, go Esther, go Esther. For months she waited with the other girls, waited for the king to call her name. For months Esther combed her long hair and rubbed oil into her smooth skin, but no one could see what made Esther's heart really beautiful. She really listened to people with her ears. She really looked into people with her eyes. What makes you beautiful is not how your face looks, but how your heart loves. Wow, if we could all learn that lesson, right? What makes us beautiful is how our heart loves other people. When King Xerxes finally called Esther's name from his list, he looked up and saw this girl who shone. So she had a beautiful shining. When King Xerxes placed the crown on beautiful Esther's head and whispered, Queen, he looked like he might burst into happy fireworks. Oh, it's sweet. But one of the king's officers, Haman, he hated Esther's Uncle Mordecai. Haman's heart burned with such a hot anger that his mind scorched and smoked with a horrific idea. A law that would kill all of God's children, just so he could get rid of Uncle Mordecai. Whew, that was a lot of hate, wasn't it? But here's what neither Haman nor King Xerxes knew. Queen Esther was a child of God too. After Uncle Mordecai heard the new law, he stood outside the palace gate and tore his clothes because his heart was breaking in two. He sent a message to Esther. Really look into the eyes of God's children outside your palace gate. Really listen to the cries of God's children outside your gate. You, Esther, are the only one who could go to the king for help to save us. So Queen Esther was safe because she was in the palace, right? But her uncle was like, look at all the people who love God out here. Look at their hearts. Look into their eyes. You can do something about it. This is the moment you were made for, to use your gifts to give others the gift of life. Wow, that was a big responsibility, wasn't it? It comes like a whisper from the outside of the gate. Use the life you've been given to give others life. Esther took a long, deep breath. If she went to see King Xerxes without asking to see her, he could decide to have her killed. There were some crazy rules back then, right? But Esther imagined what it must feel like for God's children outside the gate. She could feel her beautiful heart thrumming it out loud. Use the life you've been given to give others life. So Esther decided, yes. She would be like a bridge from God's children to the king. When love for others makes your heart beautiful, it makes your hands brave. This is what Esther whispered. I will go, and if I die, I die. Then there's Jesus, the Sun King, whose home was the original palace. Jesus, who had the most beautiful heart in all the universe. Jesus thought of you when you were outside the gate. bruised and beaten up by sin. So that's how Jesus saw us, right? Here we were with all our sin. And so it was like Esther looking out and seeing all the people. She didn't want them to die, so she had to be brave. Jesus had to step in. And Jesus' love for you was instant. He had to leave heaven. He had to risk everything to save you, to free you, to heal you. Like brave Queen Esther, Jesus made himself a bridge back to the king. Jesus risked everything. So I die. And he saved us. When you unwrap the unbeatable, unfailing, unstoppable love of Jesus, you laugh happiest. You are free to happily give away your gifts so other people can live. Now, right now, there's a boy digging for food in a garbage heap in India. Right now, there's a little girl crying for food in Uganda. Right now, a child in Afghanistan goes to sleep having never heard the name Jesus. This is the moment you were made for, to use your gifts to give others the gift of life. There could be unwrapping everywhere around the world. There's your heart, brave and beautiful and changing the world, giving love to the world, making the world dance with life and light and love. Wow, do you guys think we could be like Esther? Can we open our hearts and be brave? Listen for what God's asking us to do and be brave. Jesus had to do the same thing, right? He saw all the people out there. Maybe you could ask your mom or dad and see if they'll help you. Look and see, is there a way to help maybe some compassion kids, maybe some kids through World Vision. Maybe there's people you know in another city even. But there's so many ways to share the gifts that we have with others, and most of all, share Jesus with others. I hope you guys will look and see how you could do that this week. I bet you can. I know you can. I love you, and I'll see you tomorrow.